Hello, listeners. This is Kat, and welcome back to Put Your Hands Up Podfics. This will be the continuation of Datastream. This will be Part 6, Chapter 6. Favorite color? Yellow. You. Red. Favorite animal? Cats. You. Makes sense. Same. Favorite food? Jelly. You. Clarifying question. Favorite flavor? Cherry. Same question. Katsudan. Favorite season? Izuku and Shouto were doing the same question and answer session that he had done with Hizashi, but Shouto was being very unoriginal in his questions and answers. This was the first time he had to pause for an actual answer, and Izuku was hoping he could get a decent reply this time. Fall. You? Nope. Ah, no, I want a reason why, Izuku complained. Laughing, Hizashi said, Ooh, I know this one. Winter's too cold for his night patrol, spring is too rainy, and summer's too hot to sleep during the day. Well, he's not wrong, Shouta shrugged. Detective Tsukuchi chose that moment to return, holding all the paperwork necessary for the two heroes to take temporary guardianship of Izuku. As he handed them over, the two pros started reading. Hold up. Shouta suddenly stood, eyes wide. Midoriya. Your name is Midoriya, and your mom's name is Inko. Yes? Oops, I forgot to introduce myself properly, huh? That maybe should have been your first question, Izuku laughed. Shota's wide eyes slowly started to narrow, and he was legitimately growling now, making everyone in the room shiver in fear. Dead. She's fucking dead. I'm going to kill her. Sho? Babe, what? Shouta looked at Hizashi, cutting him off with his glare alone. Zashi, my sister's name is Midoriya Inko. Looking back to Izuku, he asked, Your quirk, is it a brain mutation with electrical elements? Izuku nodded. Are you the uncle that Mom said is a villain too lazy to get a real job? I mean, clearly I know she's wrong about that, but Izuku stammered out. Yes, that's me. Shouta sat back down in his chair. He ran his hand down his face, tamping down on his anger. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Tsukuchi, you were going to find Inko and arrest her. I know you have enough for that, right? Question, Izuku interrupted. Why did you stop yourself from asking me? You are aware that using your quirk the way you do is technically illegal, right? Shouta asked. Only kinda, but not really. I mean, yeah, the hacking is a gray area, but normally I'm not in public when I really use it, so no public quirk usage, and even if I was in public, no one can tell. Like, can you tell now that I'm using it? You are, Hizashi asked. Yep, and you can't tell. I am really good about multitasking normally, except for when I need to fully dive in, like what I just did earlier today at that apartment bomb thing. When I'm just looking for information, it's super easy to just run a search and leave it alone, but when I'm actively following cameras throughout a city, jumping from one to another, tapping into the HeroNet comms to listen and talk to you, and then keeping an eye on the villains and victims and calling in EMT and calling police for takedowns, well, that's when it gets to be a bit much. Izuku nervously grins. I can't do that and maintain full consciousness. That's why I usually am only on for nights and weekends when I'm not at school. Tsukuchi is standing there, staring at Izuku with a look between shock and horror. Oh gods, I've just met Datastream. I need to sit. And sit he did, right there, on the floor. Well, it seems he's a little distracted, so it's a good thing I was looking for whatever info you would need on my mom, right? Izuku cocked his head to the side, eyes slightly glazed over. Oh, Mike, I think she may not have been thinking clearly when she answered the phone earlier, Izuku directed to Zashi. She just bought a plane ticket out of the country. She's going to Italy. She realized she messed up. With a devious grin, Izuku looked at Shouta. Want me to flag her for customs so she can't leave? Shouta answered with an equally devious grin. Yes, and we'll have her brought back for questioning. It's a little scary just how you're able to do all that, Hizashi said, awestruck. I know, right? The first time I watched my mentor do something like that left me speechless. He's training me on how to do this stuff quicker and more efficiently. That's what I mean about how I'm working with making my less-than-legal activities legal. My mentor is helping me to get an intelligence license. He says I'll be ready for the provisional license soon. Shouta looked at him with that I'm done with the world look of his, and then said, Is your mentor rat-shaped? Yes, my mentor is Nezu, the rat god. He's been teaching me the best and most efficient ways to gather information. He wants to meet me in person to learn more about my quirk since I still don't know everything about it, but I keep putting it off to keep my identity secret. Izuku gave a wry look at Shouta. I've never been to a quirk counselor, so I've had to figure out my quirk on my own, and I know there's a lot I haven't managed to touch on. Intelligence license? You aren't planning to be a hero? Hizashi asked. Nope. Quirk's really poorly suited for that, Izuku muttered. I used to want to be a hero, though. Shouta and Hizashi shared a look before Shouta said, That's a topic to revisit later, but for now, just make sure Inko can't leave the country. Tsukuchi. He directed the last bit to the detective who was now just getting over the shock of meeting Datastream in person. Can you pick her up when she's caught? Yeah. I'll go get her. He stood up from the floor and stopped on his way out the door. Should I call you Midoriya or Datastream? With a brilliant grin, he said, Unless I'm streaming, call me Izuku. The two pros had signed Izuku out of the hospital, and they had made it home. They got to the front door and Shouta stopped them. Okay, so we have 3 cats, coffee, cream, and sugar. They're all from the same litter, and they're 9 years old. I've never seen a cat up close, Izuku said. What should I do? Well, Hizashi stepped in, you might want to avoid the pure white one. That's Sugar, and contrary to her name, she's not sweet at all. She's a little demon. And along those lines, the black one is Coffee, and he's the cuddliest little shit that you'll ever meet. Cream is the black and white one, and he only likes Shouta. He'd like you too if you would shut up and sit still for more than 10 minutes, Shouta grumbled. But the thing with cats is you want to ignore them. Let them come to you. If you try to find them constantly, they'll start to avoid you. You can try to buy their trust quicker with treats, but Cream and Sugar are on diets. Sashi keeps trying to buy their love. Keyword trying, I take it, Izuku asked with a smirk. 9 years and counting. He won't admit to failure. They walked into the apartment and were greeted by 2 cats, the ones Izuku identified as Coffee and Cream. Coffee looked right up at Izuku and he knelt down to offer a hand, like he had seen in online videos, and the cat sniffed him and then butted his hand. He likes you, Shouta said. Not surprising for him. Coffee loves just about anyone with a pulse. The real test will come with Sugar. Don't get your hopes up, Hizashi hissed, glaring down the hallway. Izuku looked that way and saw a beautiful white cat with blue eyes, glaring equally at Hizashi. Oh, she's beautiful, Izuku whispered. Yeah, and she likes to be appreciated from a distance. Come on, I'll show you to your room. They walked further into the apartment, Shouta showing Izuku the layout while Hizashi went to the kitchen to get dinner started. The next morning found Izuku sitting on the sofa in the front room waiting for the 2 pros to wake up. He hadn't heard any communications to Eraser, stating she had been brought to the station, and he was curious. Had the detective simply decided not to call that late? His mother should have been at the airport by now, but nothing. Where are you? Izuku thought to himself as he noticed the flight his mother had booked had taken off without her, but that her passport hadn't been dinged. She never went to the airport. Ooh, a challenge, Izuku whispered as he fully dived into the stream. He had to locate one person in a country full of people, since he knows his mother most likely has left the city. A few hours later, Shouta trudged out of the bedroom and shuffled to the coffee maker. After turning it on, he turned to Izuku. How long have you been awake, kid? Izuku didn't answer, deeply immersed into his stream, his eyes fully glazed over and twitching slightly. Shouta had never seen something like this, and he almost wanted to try to erase the kid's quirk to make sure he was okay, but decided to try something else first. He texted him. Data, you okay over there? Huh? Oh, yeah. My mom didn't show up at the airport, so I'm searching for her. Japan is a huge country, you know, and she's not in Musatafa anymore. But hell if I know where she is. I think I'm missing something obvious. I need to ask Rat God for help. Okay, well, I just wanted to make sure you were okay. You're looking out of it. Yeah, I told you last night that I lose full consciousness when I'm in the stream. This is what I meant. I'm fine. If you need me, you can call or text. I'll see that, but you can do anything to my physical body right now and I won't know it. My mind isn't there. Maybe if you erase my quirk, I'd be back, but I'd really prefer you didn't do that right now. I'm 300 kilometers out of Musatafa right now, and I don't want to know what it'd be like to be forcefully slammed back from that. Okay, well, good luck, I guess. I'll let you know when breakfast is ready. Okay, thanks. Shouta put his phone away and poured the coffee. Glancing at the kid, he noticed that Sugar had jumped up to the couch next to him and was cautiously approaching him. She carefully got on his lap and started purring, the kid completely unaware of the fact he had been blessed. That is creepy as hell, Hizashi said as he walked in, looking at Izuku. He's definitely your nephew. Shouta shoved him and went to sit at the counter, still watching Izuku. We're still keeping him. Naturally, Hizashi answered as he started pulling out ingredients for breakfast. It looked like he was going to do pancakes. Just means we'll be uncles instead of dads. Or we could be uncles and dads. Or I could be dad and you could be uncle. The possibilities are endless. Shouta snorted but didn't reply otherwise. Sugar likes him, he said instead. What? Hisashi shrieked and turned to look again at Izuku, noticing Sugar on his lap for the first time, glaring at him. My tiny green baby has been blessed. As Hisashi went back to getting breakfast made, Shouta couldn't help but try to wrap his mind around the fact that this kid, his rooftop kid, Datastream, was his nephew. His nephew had been subjected to his sister's care for far too long. Fuck! Izuku shouted, just as Shouta was about to text him to let him know breakfast was ready. I can't find her! What the hell? He was about to stand up when he noticed the white cat on his lap. Oh, hello. Sugar simply closed her eyes and looked as though she went to sleep. How are you searching? Shouta asked. Maybe I can give some ideas. Izuku threw his head back against the couch. I put out a facial recognition program Nezu taught me a few weeks ago, hoping to find her. It's running on all the street cameras in the country. I also have a program set to alert me if she uses any of her bank cards, and another looking for her car. That's probably what I'd suggest, to be honest. I'm not sure what else you can really do. Shouta was impressed. I was looking manually through a bunch of cameras throughout a few cities, just in case she had a disguise on. Ugh, and now I have a headache. 0 out of 10 do not recommend looking at 5,317 cameras at the same time for 4 hours while running multiple background searches. Izuku massaged his temples, still careful not to dislodge the cat. Hisashi and Shouta traded a glance, with Hisashi mouthing, 5,000. Well, Shouta recovered first. When you're ready for breakfast, it's done. Thanks. Do you have anything for a headache? Hey, Nezu, I'm looking for someone, and I think I'm missing something obvious. Help? Why, hello, Data. Who are you looking for, and what have you done to locate them? I'm looking for my mom. I put out a facial recognition live search program that she taught me a few weeks ago, hoping to find her. It's running on all the street cameras in the country. I also have a program set to alert me if she uses any of her bank cards, and another looking for her car. Impressive. But you are right, you may have overlooked something. I knew it. What did I miss? She has a cell phone, does she not? I am a freaking moron, Izuku yelled out. All right, listeners, this concludes Chapter 6 of Datastream. Chapter 7 will be up next. Hope you all are still enjoying this. Let me know your thoughts and reactions to everything so far, and as always, thank you so much for listening.